Welcome back to episode 75 of the ATD Baseball Podcast. If you can't tell, I am not at the dungeon where I'm at Dodger Stadium right now. Dodgers got a home game tonight. We'll talk about them, but I'm kind of, I guess you can say, on location today, I guess, technically. Kyle's here, as always. Beautiful backdrop there with the Judge 62 and stuff. I like that.
Oh yes, always.
Before we get into the topics, Kyle, how you doing?
Oh man, it's been crazy. Last few days have been a little bit crazy for myself, but
When it
you
rains,
know,
it pours.
yes, isn't that the damn truth? Yeah, but no, I've been doing pretty well. My Yankees coming off a 3-game sweep from the Detroit Tigers. Love to see that they've taken care of business against the opponents they're supposed to. But Melo, you, as you said yourself, are live from Dodger Stadium. Beautiful Dodger Stadium, I might add. How are you doing, my man?
Doing good. Weather is starting to get a lot better here. Not that it's not. It's always beautiful here, but it's beginning to feel like summer a little bit. It's still cold at night, but weather's starting to get a little bit warmer. At least the rain's not. At least the rain's not here anymore. It's picture perfect out here. Dodgers coming off a sweep of the Atlanta Braves, who, not gonna lie, that felt pretty damn good. Oh, did that feel good over the weekend? It felt good. I guess we'll just jump right into this, but the topics that we have on hand today is the core Dodgers sweep. We have the Trout injury that broke last week, unfortunately. Tiger City Connect uniforms, and then we have the Luis Arráez trade that happened Friday. I was at work. Kyle was texting me. That came out of left field. We'll get into that, but Dodgers sweep the Atlanta Braves. Friday was close. Saturday and Sunday were not. Friday went to extra innings. It went to the 11th inning. I like it because I get free baseball, so I'm able to go sit down. And I got lucky that it went to the 11th, so I was here for like another hour. So it was good. Dodgers won a game Friday night in extra innings, which they never do. Ever since they've added the second base, the ghost runner on second base, the Dodgers have the worst record in the majors when it comes to extra inning games. So I'm not going to lie to you. If I thought Friday night when the Dodgers went to the extras, I'm like, damn it, we're not winning this. And sure enough, Braves get a run. They're leading 3-2. Then the Dodgers, Ohtani, man, just gets a base hit, ties the game. But then Andy Pages continues to shine in this Dodger lineup since being called up a couple weeks ago. And then the next two nights, not even close. Not even close. Right? And it's not like it's not like, I know Spencer Strider's not here and stuff, but the Brewers sent out their good pitching. We saw Charlie Morton Friday. We saw Bryce Elder on Saturday. And then we saw Max Fried yesterday. So, again, Dodgers were throwing... Now, again, we were throwing out our guys, too. I know Paxton did his thing, but he's not, like, the top of the rotation guy. But you know what I mean. They sent Tyler Glasnow out there yesterday. So, or Saturday, I should say. So, for me, going into this weekend, this was a good first test because so far in this young Dodger season, kind of stumbled a little bit out of the gates. And then they had that horrible homestand last time I was here. They went 2-7. They had the great road trip. They didn't really play anybody. They haven't really played anybody yet. This past weekend was their first real test to see where they are against one of the baseball's best teams. And, obviously the Braves are going to be there in the end. So it was a really good test, and I wanted to see how this Dodger team would perform, and they did. This is not a hot take or anything. I'm just putting it out there in the universe because it's true. Shohei Ohtani is the best player in the world right now. Ever since the shaky, kind of rough start in the beginning, he's taken off. And I was here the last game of the first homestand. Once Shohei Ohtani got the first home run out of the way, he was going to explode. And that's exactly what he was doing. He had 2 home runs last night. He's now at 10. Mookie Betts has kind of tailed off a little bit, and it sucks Because if there's any year for him to win the MVP, it's this season. Because if Ohtani's going to keep doing this next year, which for $700 million, I hope he continues to hit like this for the next 10 years. But he's also going to be starting to pitch next year. And if he's going to do both at a high level like we know he can, nobody's ever going to win the National League MVP again. It's going to take an Aaron Judge historical 62 to beat Shohei Ohtani like that. And I don't know if that's going to happen in the National League. I'm not saying it can't. It could. But I feel for Mookie Betts because he was my pick. And I really want him to win it this year. But what Shohei Ohtani has done this past weekend, he was a Braves killer. 3 home runs. I think he won National League Player of the Game of the Week. And he batted over 530, I believe. So, good test. This was a very good first test for the Dodgers, and they swept the Braves. I was very happy. Very, very happy. For other reasons, too, that I will not get into on this podcast. But, Kyle, just what did you see?
Yeah, so obviously, in my point of view here, I saw the 2 powerhouses of the National League go at it. I don't want to take anything away from the Philadelphia Phillies. They are on their own heater here. They have the best record in baseball. They're doing their thing down in Philly. But if you have to come to me and ask me who I think the 2 best teams in the National League are, I'm going to say the Dodgers and I'm going to say the Braves. This was a highly anticipated matchup between the Dodgers and Braves this last weekend, and it did not disappoint. If you're any part of the Dodgers organization, you have to be happy. Like, taking down this squad in a 3-game set, that's exactly what you want. And you kind of mentioned it. All your main pitchers were out there, and these guys shoved. They did their job. That's what you want to see. And then the supporting cast around Ohtani, which I think is a little bit crazy to say, because his supporting cast literally consists of Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Crazy of me to say, but it's true, man. You know, you touched on it a little bit. Shohei Ohtani is by far the best player in baseball. And he's doing this on a brand new contract, a contract we've never seen. He's doing this technically injured, and he's also doing this in one of the biggest cities that you possibly can. And for people who want to say, oh, he played in Los Angeles. No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Don't give me that. Don't give me that. The Dodgers and the Angels are 2 completely sides of the spectrum here. But no, if you are any part of the Dodgers organization, you have to be happy with what you saw. These 2 teams are going to be battling it out all season long and likely into the postseason as well. So it has been, as an outsider, I loved watching these 3 games. I thought it was a very good matchup in baseball. And I think these kind of matchups go into the video that you had posted the other day stating why Major League Baseball is at an all-time attendance record right now, and viewership is for matchups like this. This is primetime baseball. This is the matchups you want to see, and that's exactly what we got. And you can't complain about that no matter what team you're a fan of.
Absolutely, and in terms of the scheduling, listen. I know the Dodgers run Sunday Night Baseball twice: opening weekend against the Cardinals, and then last homestand against the Padres. Yesterday should have been Sunday Night Baseball. That should have been. I know it was Phillies Giants yesterday, but I listen. You can't determine how these teams are going to start when you're coming up with these schedules in January and February, but I really thought ESPN kind of dropped the ball yesterday. They should have been out here against the Braves, but again, it's first world problems. But the 3 words, and I thought about this over the weekend. The 3 words that I have to describe Shohei Ohtani in his first couple weeks here as the Dodgers, simple: better than advertised.
Yeah.
Better than advertised. Which is crazy to say because he's coming from a team where, yes, they were not good the whole time, but he had won 2 MVPs, and he was a Rookie of the Year. So, better than advertised. And he is playing. I think the nerves were getting to him from the beginning of the season because, listen, again, I'm not taking shots at the Angels here, but stadium was not always full. Sometimes it wasn't even half full. Dodger Stadium, you're playing in front of 40,000, 50,000 fans a night. And I think from the beginning, that kind of overwhelmed him. And he did say, before he even played a game here, that He always loved playing at Dodger Stadium, and he even said before a couple months ago in his introductory press conference that when he came here, it would be a little intimidating. The fans would be on him, and then you're playing in a big stadium that's full every night. And now Ohtani, he's being embraced by Dodger fans. He's being embraced by the community. And I think he's been able to calm the nerves down a little bit. Now, he helped himself a lot this weekend. For some reason, he's not hitting with runners in scoring position. I think going into this weekend, he was batting under. I know he was batting under 200, but then with runners without in scoring position, he's hitting like 375. So again, it'll balance itself out. I'm not concerned, but Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers did exactly what they were supposed to do this weekend and beat up on a good Braves team, and that's what I wanted to see.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you can't be disappointed with what happened, with what the outcome was. And, yeah, these are two teams that are going to be battling it out at some point in October. And to be honest with you, I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be primetime baseball.
I agree. And one more thing, and we'll move on. Obviously, there was a ton of Braves fans here this weekend as they travel well. I was talking to one Braves fan, and I told him, hey, hopefully we can meet each other again in about 6 months. And he kind of didn't understand it. I'm like, okay, he's a casual then. I told him in the playoffs, he's like, hey, man, I would love to knock you guys out. I feel the same way. And I told him that if we both meet in the playoffs, it more than likely means that we both got out of the first round. And I think that's what both of these franchises are looking for right now. Can we just get out of the first round of the division series, and can we see each other in a best-of-7 NLCS? And I think, hopefully, I said this the last 2 years and I've been wrong, but hopefully we can get that this season.
I 100% agree.
Moving on, let's go to the other city that is not Los Angeles. And I've said this numerous times. Kyle's on board with it. I'm glad he understands it now, because some people don't understand it. Anaheim is not Los Angeles. Unfortunate news. Mike Trout got injured. Sucks. I think he had to have surgery on his, I think it was his knee, right?
It's his meniscus.
Meniscus.
Torn meniscus.
I don't even know how it happened or when it happened, but again, it's just, I just feel horrible for the Angels fans. I feel horrible for Mike Trout because everything that's going wrong right now, everything that could go wrong for the Angels is going wrong right now. They lose their star player after it looked like he was going to have a bounce back AL type, AL MVP type season. He was leading the league in home runs at one point. I think he still is. But of course, somebody's going to pass him eventually here. But it was like, all right, cool. The stigma and the buzz around Mike Trout the last couple of years is that A, he's getting older, and B, he's not playing 150, 140 games anymore. It's becoming a joke now that he can't stay on the field for a full 162. And just when we thought that, okay, hey, looks like he's going to turn it around and he's going to play more than 100 games this season, he gets hurt, has knee surgery. They did say it was not season ending, but I mean, luckily, I know injuries suck and I don't wish them on anybody, but if you could have them at any point during the season, I guess it would be in April and May, because the Angels did say that it's not season ending. But those can always get tricky. Some guys don't heal well. Some guys heal better than others. And I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but I don't know how long it's going to take for him to get back. But I hope he can get back, because baseball is better when Mike Trout is number one on the field, and number two, he's performing at a high level. And you saw that the first month of the season, and it's a damn shame that he's not going to be on the field in the near future.
I couldn't agree more. And the one thing that I love about this sport, and the one thing that I love about the community that this sport has, is if there is one player who, no matter what team you're a fan of, no matter what city you live in, whatever it is, there is one player who every single fan can get behind to make sure that he stays on that damn field year in and year out, and that is Mike Trout. Mike Trout is year in and year out, when healthy, in that AL MVP conversation. This man has done things that we haven't seen in years. I am talking years. He is by far the best player of our generation, and arguably one of the greatest of all time. I think the one thing that's going to hurt him is the fact that he can't stay healthy. And we have this is the same tone every single year when it comes to Mike Trout. When he's on the field, the dude's the best player in baseball. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Mike Trout has the potential to be the best player in any given year. And I don't care that he's getting older, he can still do it. The problem is that he can't stay healthy and that it's just the same tone and dance every single year. And the problem with Mike Trout is the fact that he's getting older and he has, one playoff game under his belt?
Yep.
In the last however many years he's been in this league. And it really sucks to see the fact that this man is not going to get any postseason time. Because when we look back at Mike Trout's career, if he stays with Anaheim and he finishes his career as an Angel, we are going to look back on his career and say, damn, we really wish that we would have gotten some prime Mike Trout at-bats in postseason baseball. That would have been spectacular. And they had the chance over the last 6 years with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout all together. And the fact is that they could not put a team around them, and that's the problem year in and year out with when we're talking about the Angels. When we're talking about the Angels, we're talking about Mike Trout. And usually when we're doing that, it's not in a good way. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks to see. And I feel for Angel fans, man. You know, they lost Ohtani, and they have a poor ownership group, and they have a piss-poor performance on the field every single year, but the one constant that they can always fall back on is Mike Trout. However, that has not been the case in the last few years. He can't stay on the field. And it sucks to see. It really does. There's without question, we're going to see his plaque in Cooperstown one day. But there's going to be a lot of what ifs with Mike Trout. There really is, and it, as a baseball fan and as somebody who has looked up to Mike Trout growing up and absolutely loved to see him play game after game, it really sucks to look back on and kind of see where this career has taken off. I hope the absolute best for him. I hope he comes back, and I hope the Angels can make some kind of push. Because when Mike Trout is playing good, and if we can get him in the postseason, come on. That's all you want. As a baseball fan, you want to see Mike Trout in the postseason. And it sucks year after year that we don't get it.
And I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of Mike Trout, but I'm also a fan of his in the media. I didn't like what Stephen A. Smith said last week. Totally out of left field. Didn't agree with it. Stephen A's better than that. He's smarter than that. He should know.
Time and place.
There's a time and place, and dude, listen. I'm sure, as everybody has known in the last 2-3 years that I've been at Around the Diamond, I have a certain vendetta with the Angels. I'm not gonna take it that far because it's, number one, it's inaccurate, and number two, it's just not good. It's just that's hate. That's being a hater, and I didn't agree with what he said, and I want to cut him some slack a little bit because I know Stephen A's not watching baseball every night, but to say that he's always hurt and it's karma because he's on the Angels still and hasn't asked for a trade, that's outrageous. I don't agree with that at all. But again, I hope, like you mentioned, I hope Mike Trout can get back. It sucks. The Angels, again, I'm not taking shots at them, but they were not playing good even in the last 2 weeks when he was on the field. It can only get worse now. And I don't have the schedule right in front of me, but I think yesterday one of the one of the Angel beat writers posed the question of, is this rock bottom? And I think it is. If not, it's pretty damn close. You're off to another bad start, and there's still 120 games left to go, and you just lost your star player for the foreseeable future. And he's had a track record of the last 4 to 5 years of not being able to stay on the field. And it's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, and you also don't have Shohei Ohtani, who can kind of cut the slack anymore. Now you're relying on the guys like Zach Neto, Logan O'Hoppe, Mickey Moniak. You're relying on guys who have not had proven success in the majors yet. A lot of these guys are younger guys who they're kind of plugging and playing around Mike Trout. And listen, going back on the Stephen A. thing, I want to say loyalty in sports, you don't see it anymore. Far and few players are loyal to the fan base, or I'm sorry, loyal to the franchise that drafted them and that they've had the success with. I will always go back to my guy, Aaron Judge. Listen, I'm probably one of Aaron Judge's biggest fans. I'm gonna admit it. Exactly. See, oh captain, my captain. But at the end of the day, if he gets hurt and all this other stuff, and the Yankees don't make the World Series for the next 10 years of his contract, or however, I'm sorry, it'll be 8 years now of his contract. If they don't make it, I'm not going to look back and say, this is karma because Judge signed with the Yankees long term. That's foolish of me to say. At the end of the day, Mike Trout had a thought in this. It was his choice to sign that extension. And if he's getting shit on for being loyal to a club that has, kind of really screwed him over in the last few seasons, I think that takes some balls. And I think that just shows what kind of guy Mike Trout truly is. And he'd rather be loyal. I mean, yes, he did get a bag. Don't get me wrong here. But at the end of the day, he chose to be loyal to the fan base, or to the franchise and the fan base that was loyal to him to an extent. Fan base I was more towards. But, you can't fault a guy for being loyal. That doesn't make any sense. That's just foolish to say. But no, to kind of cap this all up, we obviously hope that Mike Trout gets back soon, and we can see him playing baseball again, because baseball as a sport is better when Mike Trout is on the field and producing, and that's exactly what he was doing before he got hurt.
100% agree. Okay, continuing forward. You mentioned it before we got on here and press recorded, and I agreed with you. I didn't even know that today was their day to get the City Connect jerseys, but the Tigers released their City Connect uniforms. Just my initial thoughts right off the top. I'm not feeling the hat. I like the jersey, and I like the Motor City on the front. And if I'm not mistaken, the jersey, the front, it's kind of resembling like a tire mark, Yeah. So I thought that was sick. I thought that was cool. You got like the other patches on there. I don't know what they mean. Tiger eyes, you got them on there. I like that. You got a VIN tag, like a license plate number. I like that. But I'm not feeling the hat. I like the Detroit, but I can't. Listen, overall, if I had to give it a rating, I would give these. I would give it a 9, but it's the hat for me that screws it up. So I'm gonna give it a solid 7.5, 8. I think this is one of the better jerseys that have come out. I like the little small details like that, but that's just me.
Yeah, and I think you hit this right on the head here. When I first saw this, and like you had stated, I didn't even know that these were coming out. I was actually at work, and I had a little bit of time, so I was scrolling a little bit, and I looked, and I was like, oh shit, the Tigers came out with their City Connects. So I looked at them. My eyes went straight to the chest piece of this jersey where the tire marks are. I thought right then and there, I like these jerseys. I thought they're clean, man. I love where it says Motor City going across the chest piece. You got the tire marks, and even on the sleeves here, now that I'm looking at here, right on the this little part here, it's almost like a hazard sign, I would say. It's kind of like something that you would see on like a guardrail. Like when you're driving down the road and you see the guard where the striping is. It's usually yellow, kind of reflective tape. I love that. This jersey is simple, but it is so clean. I absolutely love the jersey. However, I am 100% in your corner here with the hat. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's plain.
I could have made that at the local store for $10.
Exactly. That's kind of what it kind of looks like here. It's just a regular navy blue hat that has the same font as the jersey and says Detroit. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball on the hat. They could have done a little bit more. But I really like these are what the jersey's supposed to look like. It's paying homage to the city, and when you think of Detroit, you think of cars. You think of like Chevrolet and Ford and all of these different car companies that originated in Detroit, Michigan. and I think they hit it perfectly on the concept. They really did. Overall, this is definitely one of the better jerseys in my opinion. I'm gonna give it an 8. I like this jersey a lot. I really do, and it's not what I really expected. I think that's why I like it so much. I was expecting them to go more like the Tiger route,
Right.
and like I don't know, like well, we saw the logo that also came out when it came with the tiger face. It wasn't bad, but I thought that's where they were going. So seeing these and seeing how they actually look, I think it's beautiful. It's a very clean jersey. Overall, I think it's going to look great on the field. I really do.
I agree. And, you feel good, you play good. Tigers are kind of in the hunt for the AL Central here, and what if that could become like, we saw this kind of with the Red Sox a couple of years ago, what if that becomes like their rallying cry? And every time they wear them, they don't lose a game in them. We've seen that happen with these City Connect jerseys before. This is definitely one of the better ones in terms of like just like you said, paying homage to the city. It's not out there. It fits Detroit perfectly, and I can't wait to see them on the field with them. I think they're gonna look great.
And real quick, I also had another thought. These jerseys really reminded me of the Detroit Tigers. I'm sorry, the Detroit Lions. See, look, I'm all messed up. The Detroit Lions. I felt like the font kind of like matched what the Lions do, and I thought that was a little bit. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was on purpose, or maybe it was just a coincidence that it kind of looked that way to me. But I think the blues kind of lined up with each other a little bit. The font looks really good, and I think they lined up as well. Overall, very clean jerseys, and I'm excited to see them on the field. I really am.
100% agree. Okay, last topic. This came out of left field again. I didn't even know he was available to be traded. Had no clue. Had no clue. Luis Arráez got traded from Miami to San Diego Friday evening for prospects. The GM, I like when GMs are completely honest with the team and they understand where they are as a franchise. Miami Marlins off to a horrible start, and the GM said it perfectly. We don't think we're a postseason team or something like that. Like he didn't even believe that we're gonna make the playoffs, and we're not even 2 months into the season. So that tells you all you need to know of what's going on with the Marlins right now. And they were able to shop Luis Arráez, and they got some prospects back for him. I heard today that the Royals were considering. I heard that today in the morning. I really want to know who else was involved, if anybody else tried. But so far, obviously, the team that got him, the Padres and the Royals. As a Dodger fan, am I afraid? No. Do I like it? No. I wish he was not in my division because he's a former batting champion, and dude's just a pain in the ass, man. He can freaking hit anything in or out of the zone. He can hit balls at his face. He can hit balls that are nowhere near the plate. Again, it's crazy. It's crazy to say because Tony Gwynn, Mr. Padre, had a Hall of Fame, arguably the greatest contact hitter ever. Luis Arráez is kind of that modern day Tony Gwynn. Doesn't hit for power, he hits for average. And I wish I screenshotted it, but they had the splits of Luis Arráez and Tony Gwynn after I think a certain amount of games played. They are very similar, if not Luis Arráez has an edge in Tony Gwynn just a little bit. But good move for the Padres. And I mentioned this on the video that I mentioned on Saturday. AJ Preller is not afraid to go for it. He is not afraid to put all his chips in the middle. Has it come with winning? No. But, when they traded for Juan Soto, it turned into an NLCS appearance where they beat the Mets, they beat my Dodgers, and they lost to the Phillies in the championship series. They were able to get Xander Bogaerts out of Boston. Did they have to overpay? And does the contract not look great right now? Yes. But, again, AJ Preller trying different things. He's not afraid to go for it. And he did it again Friday night, and you've got probably one of, if not one, top 5 best contact hitters in the game right now.
Easily. And I'm actually glad you mentioned AJ Preller there. I kind of want to double down on that, considering the fact that, you know, if it wasn't for Aaron Judge's loyalty, as we were talking earlier, he'd be a Padre right now. And they offered him over $400 million. I think it was like 410 to be exact, and Judge decided to stay with the Yankees. But they did the same thing with Trey Turner.
Yep, I was just about to mention that.
Exactly. So AJ Preller is not afraid to make these trades, and to be honest with you, I think he's more looking at the now situation rather than the future. And that's exactly what we saw with Juan Soto. They said, you know what, he's still under control for 2 years now. Let's trade for him, see where it takes us, and then we'll reassess when that time comes. That's exactly what they did. Obviously, they had to get rid of him. So thank you for that, AJ Preller. But anyway, looking at it with the Marlins side of things, right? If you're a Marlins fan, I want to say something. Your new GM plays chess and not checkers, okay? Peter Bendix. He is formerly in the Rays organization. I'm going to tell you something. The Rays have been a pain in my ass as a Yankee fan over the last 5-6 years that Peter Bendix was in charge of the Rays. I have a feeling he's trying to do the same damn thing with Miami. And for me, luckily, he's out of Tampa Bay. But if he can replicate what he was doing in Tampa Bay, just let you know, Marlins fans, don't jump the gun here, okay? Kind of trust the process a little bit, see what he does, and
let him cook the meal for you.
Exactly. Let him kind of like get onto you a little bit here, because he's first year in a job. He's a smart man. He really is. When it comes to analytics, Peter Bendix is one of the best in the game. I'm going to tell you that. And I've always liked this guy as a GM, as a front office piece. And I really like the move when the Marlins made it. Does it look great right now? No, obviously it doesn't. You're trading away a 2-time batting champ, and you're also trading away probably the best player in your team right now. So it sucks, yes. But like I said, give him some time, see where it goes, and then maybe in a few months down the road, depending on how these prospects turn out, things like that, then you can kind of judge him for what this trade is going to be. But guess what, Miami fans? You might want to get ready for another one, because from what I'm hearing and from reports, Judge Chisholm and Tim Anderson,
they're on the
these
table.
They're on the table. And like I said, Peter Bendix kind of made that known during his press conference, saying that they don't think that they were going to get anything for Arráez come summertime, which I thought was kind of crazy a little bit, considering the fact that they traded him on May 4th, May 3rd, whatever the hell that was.
They didn't even let this get to June, or they didn't even let it get to July.
And you never see a trade of this caliber happen this early in the season. It's very far and few. So the fact that he pulled this trigger makes me think that maybe he sees something. I don't know, maybe a decline in splits. I'm telling you, he's an analytic nerd, dude. You never know. Maybe he's looking at Arraez's June and July and August numbers and saying, listen, he's going to decline here during this season. Let's ship him off quick. You know, you really never know what goes behind doors. And like I said, Peter Bendix is a smart man. I would trust him if I was a Miami fan. But yet again, I'm glad I'm not. And I don't have to worry about that. So we'll see how it goes.
And it probably made the decision a lot easier, because if you're the Marlins, you probably weren't going to pay him anyways. No. So it's like, all right, well, let's see what we can get on for him in the open market. And I give the GM credit for kind of not wasting any time. And it's like, I mean, they could have easily said, well, I know they didn't think they were going to get much for him at the trade deadline, but okay, let's see. And then you're screwed and you get your hand ties. But yeah, this has got to open the doors for everybody else, especially for a guy like Luis Arraez, who, like I said, I just said all the accolades, came out of nowhere. And for the Padres, I hate how well he fits in that lineup. I hate how he fits so well in that lineup with Machado, Tatis, Cronenworth. Now you got Arraez in there. You got Ha-Seong Kim. Padres said that they were going to have him as the DH. Maybe you can flip Cronenworth and Arraez second base once in a while, but For the Padres, I think he's gonna. I mean, listen, he went 4 for 4. I think in his first game Saturday.
He did.
Yeah. So I think the Padres are gonna. I think they're gonna like him, and I think he's gonna do good stuff with the Padres down in San Diego.
We'll see. And now here's another thing that kind of tells you about AJ Preller and what we've been talking about, and how this guy isn't afraid to make a move. When this trade went down, and I was looking at all the comments on Twitter, Instagram, the whole 9 yards, everybody's first thought was like, where the hell is he going to play? Right? You basically got all those infield spots locked up. You obviously have Machado, Ha-Seong Kim, Bogart. Damn, I can't speak. Bogarts. And then you got Cronenworth over at first. So, first question arises, where the hell do you play him? And I think that's just the beauty of AJ Preller and the way he does things. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we'll see some odd-ass games where Cronenworth's the DH, where Bogey's the DH. They'll figure it out. And I think that's just that's the way Preller rolls, man. And I think it's kind of cool. You know,
It is.
He's worried. All he's worried about is getting the best guys that he can on the market, bringing them in, and seeing where that takes him. And I feel like that's exactly what he did with Arráez.
And last thing, I mentioned the video that I put out Saturday. Not like Les Snead. F them picks, F them prospects. He is not afraid to ship guys out. Now, he's not afraid to get rid of them either, like you saw with Soto last winter. But, man, I'm not, and again, I mean this in the nicest way possible. He has depleted that farm system.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those guys are kind of performing somewhere else. But, hey, if you want to win now, that's kind of the price you have to pay. You want to bring major league guys, batting champions like Luis Arraez, you're going to have to give up prospects like this.
Exactly. And as you mentioned, I feel like you can look at the Washington Nationals. You got Mackenzie Gore out there right now, who's looking like a stud. CJ Abrams, come on. I mean, he has the potential to be a top 10 shortstop by the end of the year, and maybe even go farther up on that list next season, and so forth and so on. Keeper Ruiz kind of, hasn't really panned out too much, but listen, there's plenty of time for him.
Oh, yeah.
And, the Nationals are building something out there. And for getting rid of Soto and getting those guys from San Diego in, they're forming something nice out there. And for Preller, he shipped off Soto as quick as he got him, but he also got a nice return too. So we really don't know where this Arráez is going to go. I believe he has one more year left of control, if I'm not mistaken. But hell, we could be talking about this next year of Arráez being traded again. I don't think Preller has a limit here. I don't think he does.
Yeah, let's see where this leads the Padres too.
Yeah, that's it.
I think they're a game over 500, if not they're right at 500. The NL West was supposed to be this juggernaut, it was supposed to be this gauntlet of a division. And I think the Dodgers obviously are starting to run away with it. I think then it's the Padres that are in second with a game over 500. If not, they're right at 500. And then you got the Diamondbacks, Rockies, and the Giants are all under 500, including the Diamondbacks, who have gone off to a horrible start. And I thought they were a shoo-in for 90, 95 wins, and it looks like they're going to really have to earn those 90 wins this season.
Yep.
But we're getting off track. Before we get out of here, I know we said we were going to do this every week. Kyle, what's going on with the Yankees? Let's hear it.
Yeah, I really don't have much, man. They kind of slowed down. They lost 3 out of 4 from Baltimore since the last episode. After that, they traveled back to New York. Actually, I believe Milwaukee was before Baltimore, but they kind of took care of business against Detroit in the last series. Garrett Cole, he's warming back up. He should be slated to make a rehab start within the next month or so. Judgy coming around finally. Damn, took you long enough. Soto's doing his thing, but my last thought here is I'm going to shout out Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo has been an absolute dog for us. I love what he's bringing. He hit 300 career homers last week. Congrats to him. Alex Verdugo, man, I can't say enough good things about him. Oh, you're damn right. Love it. Soto, keep doing what you're doing. Absolutely love seeing you in pinstripes. Yeah, other than that, man, it's kind of just been middle ground. Tomorrow we open up a 3 or 4 game set against Houston, so we'll see how that goes.
Man, getting the Astros out early this year.
Yes, we are. I don't know what Houston we're going to get. No matter how good or bad they are, I'm always a little on edge when we play them.
They'll get up for the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, man, everything's okay. Yeah, we'll check in next week. We'll see if my demeanor's the same.
Yeah, this is going to be fun throughout the year to see where the panic level is going to be, because it's going to change throughout the year. So I'm looking forward to that. Same thing with me too. But going back to Anthony Rizzo real quick, he performed well, and he has a sick, nice Player of the Month, 96 overall card in MLB The Show right now. And and I got him the other day, and it's pretty fun to hit with that lefty swing.
I'm telling you, man, if he can level out that swing and stay on every pitch like everybody knows that he can, he could be a difference maker for this team down the stretch. I truly do believe that.
All right, Kyle, unless you got any final thoughts, episode 75 is in the books yet. We're almost there to 100.
We are.
We're getting there.
We are. It's crazy, man. Crazy journey that this has been on. I'll tell you that.
Yep.
It's been very crazy. But yes, enjoy your night, Melo, at beautiful Dodger Stadium.
Yes. Yes. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at it. I gotta come out there this year, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes, you have to.
I gotta come out this year.
You have to.
We'll put that in the works.
I will give you the Hollywood treatment. Yes.
Oh man, I'm ready for it. I am.
You want that Hollywood lifestyle, unlike Anthony Rendon? You come to me and I'll give it to you.
Well, there we go. Everybody, you heard it. Melo's gonna give you the Hollywood life. Here we go.
Yes. All right. Episode 75 in the books. We'll see you next week. See ya. Adios.
Later.